there, my name is Shaq. In today's video I'm going to be talking about what to expect on the day of your driving test. The first most important thing is to check your email confirmation letter so that you know the correct time of your test. Driving tests occur at awkward timings, for example at 8:57 a.m. Most learner drivers would remember that to be 9 o'clock. If you were to turn up for your test at 9 o'clock, firstly, you've turned up 3 minutes late, which is not a very good impression. Secondly, the examiner may not even conduct the test, in which case you will lose your fee. At the same time, you are not allowed to turn up too early for the test. Most test centres will have a notice prohibiting you from turning up more than 10 minutes before the appointment time. Some driving test centres will not even allow you to turn up more than 5 minutes before the appointed time. Therefore, it's usually a good idea to wait outside the test centre a couple of roads away 10-15 minutes before, and then go into the test centre closer to your appointed time. The other thing that you need to be aware of is that not all driving test centres have candidate toilets. The last thing you want to do is go for the test bursting to go to the toilets. At the waiting room, there'll be lots of other pupils going for the test at the same time. The examiner will walk into the waiting room and call out your name. He or she will ask you to sign a declaration confirming two things. One, that you've lived in the UK for the past 6 months, and two, that you have bought a car that is insured for you to drive. The examiner will then ask you whether you would like your instructor or anybody else to accompany you to the test. That is entirely your choice. On the way to the car, the driving examiner will stop you and ask you to read a number plate at a distance of 20 meters. If you wear glasses, make sure you keep them on throughout the driving test. If for some reason you cannot read the number plate, the examiner then will give you a second opportunity on a different vehicle. If you can't read that one as well, then the examiner will go back into the test centre, get a tape measure and measure the exact distance. Failing to read the number plate the third time would mean that you would fail the whole test. Provided you've read the number plate, the examiner will then ask you one vehicle safety question. The second vehicle safety question will be asked on the move whilst you are driving. The examiner will then ask you whether you would want to know an explanation about what's going to happen in the driving test. If you say yes, then the examiner will explain to you that the test will last for about 35 to 40 minutes. It will include one reverse manoeuvre and 20 minutes of independent driving. This may include the use of a sat-nav. The emergency stop may also be requested. About 1 out of every 3 candidates are asked to do the emergency stop exercise. Now, the manoeuvres, there are 4 manoeuvres to choose from. There's the forward bay park, where you would park forward into the bay and then reverse out again. There is the reverse bay park, where you reverse into a bay and then drive forward out. There's the parallel park, and there is stopping on the right hand side of the road. Those are the 4 manoeuvres. The choice of manoeuvre will be the examiner's, not yours. If your driving test centre has marked bays, then there's a possibility that the bay park manoeuvre may be requested right at the start of the driving test or right at the end of the driving test. If your local driving test centre does not have a car park with marked bays, the examiner then can make you do the manoeuvre on a public road, or if it's the bay park manoeuvre, in a public car park, or in Sainsbury's or Tesco's or any other supermarket. As far as the independent driving section is concerned, the examiner will have a pre-programmed sat-nav and he will place it on a mat on the dashboard of the vehicle. You do not have to do anything, just follow the instructions from the sat-nav. However, 1 out of every 5 candidates will be asked to follow directions using road signs and not using a sat-nav. Whichever method the examiner chooses, if you're not sure where you're going, you can ask the examiner for confirmation. They will help you. During the driving test, the examiner will be making notes on your driving, but do not let that put you off. You are allowed to make mistakes. In fact, you are allowed to make up to 15 minor mistakes and still pass your driving test. I hope you found this video informative. If so, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're a subscriber to our channel, let me say thank you. If you're not a subscriber, then please do consider subscribing so you do not miss out on our great videos. Thank you for watching.